Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with my friend and fellow coach, Teal Elisabeth, today. She is a love and relationship coach who helps women step into their feminine energy and deepen their self-love so they can attract and maintain an extraordinary love life. Teal is she's so amazing. We did one interview together before that got such a great response. Everyone, is asking to bring her back on. So here we are. Today we're going to be talking about what to do if your relationship isn't moving forward towards the commitment you want. This is something I've been getting asked about so much lately. So for everyone watching live, feel free to share your experiences with this in the chat, and maybe we can get to some of your questions too. So welcome, Teal, and thank you so much for being here with me today.
Hey, Helena. Hey, ladies. So good to be here too. Welcome.
I'm just making sure this is working. For everyone watching live, if you can just let us know that you can hear us and see us okay. I'm always a little nervous about that. To me, it looks like it's working. So we'll just jump right in. By the way, Teal is coming to us from Bali. She's traveling the world with her man right now. So she's going to be, it's probably super early in the morning over there. So thank you for joining. This is so much fun. I can't wait to jump in.
Absolutely. It's worth it.
Awesome. Okay, yes, it's working. Phyllis says perfect timing. Okay, great. I think this is going to be really helpful for everyone. So I don't know about you, Teal, but I hear from so many women who have, maybe attracted a good man, but the relationship is just kind of stalling. Like it doesn't seem to be moving forward towards the commitment she's looking for, at least not as quickly as she would like. And from women in this situation, I hear a lot of worry or discouragement because they're wondering if they're really ever going to get that committed relationship they're looking for. Do you hear that as well? What are some common struggles you hear from for women in this situation?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I'm so glad to be doing this topic today. And I feel you, ladies. I feel you. It is so just anxious, right? You feel anxious in this moment where especially because we're so goal oriented and we're like, okay, things are moving on the right track. Let's get this going. I'm ready to achieve this goal and everything's starting to fall in a line. And then if it slows down, it just naturally brings up all of these insecurities and doubts. So it is so common and I totally get it. And it is fixable. It's shiftable. The biggest thing is just recognizing that it's really all about our own energy and how we're putting that out there. But the biggest challenges, that I hear women that I work with is definitely about wanting to push things down the timeline. And I know, Helena, you talk about that a lot, the relationship timeline, and that there's different timelines, and that it's actually not about a timeline at all. It's about just being in the moment, every moment with the man, and making sure you're bringing your best self forward in every moment that you spend with him.
That is perfect. And I could even feel that when you were saying that, things are going strong. It's heating up between the two of you. He's pursuing you. Then maybe the woman starts to fall for him. And then that's right about the time often that things kind of slow down, or they might not even be slowing down, but it might feel like that because just like you said, it brings up all the fears and insecurities, not wanting to put all your eggs in this one basket. What if it doesn't work out? That's when we go one foot in, 1 foot out of the relationship, and we become this tense person, and it does the opposite of inspiring a man's love and commitment, right?
It's so true. I see it so much. I've experienced it way back in my old past. You come off as this attractive, alluring person, right? You're like, I've got my shit together. I'm so amazing. I love my life. And bam, men are like, ooh, I like it. Yes. And then all of a sudden, a few days, months, weeks in, you're like, oh my God, I think he actually likes me. This is exciting. And then we literally turn into another person. And we just, all of that beautiful inner confidence and strength and just juiciness just seeps away from us, and we turn into this other person that we don't recognize. And so that's really the shift for you ladies, right? It's just knowing when you're starting to lean into that mode and just allowing yourself to let that go and not become that person.
It's so important. I want to I know we don't have too much time today, but in this 30 minutes or so, kind of take everyone through the different stages. That just came to me. I think it might be really helpful. Is there something that you would advise the single ladies out there to not get themselves in this position in the first place? So, so often, I don't know about you, Teal, but I hear from women who are already in this situation. They have this boyfriend or guy they're dating, and they're exclusive with him, and then they feel kind of stuck because they can't date other men or they don't want to. And the relationship also isn't moving forward. So they're in this weird limbo that there's just no way on earth that's ever going to feel good, right? How can women, let's say, who are single and dating, start off on the right foot so they don't get themselves into that situation? Then, of course, if you're already there, we're going to give you some tips on how to get yourself out of it a little later in the video.
Yeah, that is such a great question. Well, I think the biggest thing is really actually holding back on wanting to be exclusive too soon. And I know this may sound really weird, you know, like we all want to get to that exclusive place so we know like that he's mine and I'm his and we can just get into the next phase of the yumminess. But if you do this too soon, it's actually sabotaging your own success because you're actually devaluing yourself in his eyes. And that may be like, what? That doesn't make sense. But in his eyes, he's looking at it as like, I see this hot mama. She's amazing. She's got her life together. She's got all these suitors that want to be with her. And I'm interested, right? It is kind of the allure of the chase. And men love that. And it makes you naturally just feel and seem very elevated in his eyes. But as soon as you decide a few weeks in, a few days in, a few months in, like, okay, you're mine, I'm yours, I'm going to just like cut off all my options, then it really like, it takes away some of that energy and that chase and that allure for him because he's like, I've already got her. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to put in extra time. And if he hasn't been showing you committed steps every single day, every single week, that he really is ready to be yours forever, then you're actually just giving your full heart to him before he's really earned it. And that's really the value shift.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. That's like one of the biggest mistakes or things I see with women is they commit themselves to a man in their mind before they really know if he's really committed to her or invested in her. And yeah, and this isn't a game, by the way, and this isn't a strategy. It has to be authentic. You have to really be, I always ask, I don't know if I've ever said this on a video before. That's why I love doing these live streams. But when do you feel, I ask my clients this all the time, when was the time when the man was coming on the strongest and pursuing you and you were pretty sure where you stood with him? And most of them say it's when he didn't quite know if he had me yet or not, right? Not because she was playing games or being inauthentic, but she was leaning back and watching him a little more dispassionately, like, okay, are we on the same page? Could this be a good potential partner for me? She wasn't trying to steer it in any sort of direction because she wasn't invested yet. That's often so it's about recreating that dynamic in an authentic way where you're kind of watching him a little less attached to the outcome or trying to make something happen. Or I love how you put it, Teal, when you start to see a man as like the goal or the prize in your mind, like he's the goal, locking him into this relationship is a goal. A man can feel that, and that makes him want to like back himself out of it. Right? It's just human nature. Even if he loves you, even if he really cares about you and wants to be with you, if he gets the sense that you're trying to lock him into some commitment before he's ready for it, just the dynamics completely reversed. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Teal?
Absolutely, 100%. It really is about this mindset of you are the prize, and that holding a vision. I think what I've noticed a lot with clients when I first start talking to them is I ask them like, if I could wave my magic wand and really give you exactly that perfect relationship that you want, like what does that actually look like? And a lot of women don't really know what they want. They see this man and they try and fit themselves into what this man could be for them. But if you really are keeping the focus on you and your needs and your vision of what you want, then it's about deciding which man that comes towards you fits your vision. And that naturally just shifts everything.
Yeah, it's very attractive, right? Not because you're trying to make a guy jealous or play games or anything, but it's like, okay, let's see if this man matches up to my vision. Very different energy than like, how do I get this guy to commit to me? If you're asking that question, you're already kind of lost the game. That's kind of a losing mindset or strategy, right? So something I hear so often is men will try to come in quickly within the first like 3 months or so and get the woman to stop dating other men, try to become exclusive. And that all comes from a good place. And it's not that he doesn't mean those things, but so that's when women commit themselves exclusively to a man. And then I know for everyone watching live, I know you've experienced this, right? Has a man ever come on strong, wanted to be exclusive, then you're like, okay, you stop dating other people. And then that's when his effort kind of started to wane a little bit. He might start to back off or drift away, and now you're stuck in this exclusive situation. So what can a woman say to a man who's coming on strong, wants to be exclusive quickly, and she's wanting to kind of see how things unfold before making such a big step in the relationship?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you said it really beautifully just in the question. It's really about just, I think, once again, it always comes back to the energy when you are with this man, right? So if he's coming on strong, most of the time, like deep within ourselves, just trust your instinct, right? If you're trusting your instinct, you're like, whoa, this guy's coming on really strong. That's actually a red flag. Because think about it, if you're building up a friendship with someone. If someone comes to you, meet a new girlfriend, and they come on and they're like, hi, I want to meet you every day. I want to hang out. Can we do this? Can we do that? I think we should just be best friends forever. You're going to be like, okay, back up, girl, you know? So if a man does that, that's actually not really the way that an organic relationship and healthy relationship forms. So trust yourself when you feel someone coming on strong and knowing that that may not be exactly what you're needing. And then trust what you need and what you want, and just let him know, you know what, I am really loving spending time with you, but at the same time, I really want to take this slow, and I want this to really form organically. And I'm also just not quite ready to take that next step to be committed yet. I want to keep my options open and just really stand in your vision of what you want. I'm really looking for a partner that can be this, and that I can feel this way around. And if he continues to show up in that way, then that's fantastic. But I think it's about just staying with your vision and just keeping it slow and trusting your heart.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And kind of, it's almost kind of giving him something he can get later. Like, and I'd be thrilled if that were you. It would feel incredible to have it just be the two of us. And you know, we'll see how things go. It's you're giving him something he can get later, which is very attractive, right? You're not saying like, no, it's too soon. I don't become exclusive this early on. You're saying, ooh, that would feel incredible. And here's what I'm looking for. And, you know, it would feel good to get to know each other better and see if we're on the same page before making such an important decision. So that is great. Yeah, Britt says, someone said, it sounds like a man told her the decent thing to do is to be exclusive. He tried to make me feel bad and I didn't know him enough. Yeah, that happens all the time. That happened to me once a long time ago. A guy on date like 2 or 3 was pushing to be in a relationship. I actually really liked him a lot too, but it just felt like so much. I mean, there's a difference between a man whose energy is coming towards you and it feels good, it feels natural and effortless and easy, versus a man who like wants something from you right away and is making you feel bad for, you know, wanting to take your time. So you can feel the difference there, right?
Absolutely. Really, really trust yourself of knowing like what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And you can tell him that too. It doesn't quite feel so good to have you coming on so strong. That's okay. He needs to know that.
Yeah, and if he backs off after that, I think I said something, so I didn't know that much about this work back then, but I think I said something like, oh, you know, it would feel good to like kind of get to know each other a little better before jumping into a relationship. And of course he disappeared soon after that. So he wasn't someone, you know, a man's response to that beautiful script that Teal shared a few minutes ago will tell you a lot about him. Is he just all about getting his need met right now, and he doesn't really care about your comfort level? That's a really good thing to know, because it's not going to be a good relationship partner, right? You know, you want to see what he does with that information. When you share your feelings and your vision for a relationship, you want to see what he does. Does he honor that vision? Does he honor your boundaries? Or does he get mad and, like Britt said, make you feel bad or try to guilt you into being exclusive? That is fantastic information for you to know early on, right, Teal?
Yes, absolutely. And the more that you cultivate your self-love and know that like you're standing in your truth, these guys, if they start telling you all this weird stuff, you can just know like, okay, well, you're making it really easy for me to know that you're not the right guy for me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to take this as an insult for myself or make me feel bad about myself. You're just making it really clear that you're not the right man for me. The right man is going to respect that value.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Now, what about women who have already become exclusive with a man and now the relationship has slowed down? Maybe he's putting in less effort and she gets the sense that it's not moving towards that commitment she wants. What's your advice for women in that situation?
Oh boy, this happened for me. And it was really painful. Really, really painful. It happened with the man that I'm actually in love with and committed to, and we're traveling the world together with. But I did at some point in our relationship, things he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it just wasn't feeling right. And I really had to stand in, once again, what I really needed and not make it okay to just sacrifice to what he needed. I had to really stand in what I needed. And I had to actually let go of the vision of it being him, and actually let go of, like you were saying, Helena, that attachment, that it has to be him that's going to give me that vision of that relationship. Even though we'd been dating for over a year and we were super close and really good friends, and we'd talked about the future together, he still was not really showing me in his actions that he wanted that. And so I did end up breaking up with him to communicate my needs. And he ended up coming back a few months later and really coming up to become that vision of that man that I wanted. So it was so much about standing in my value and standing in my worth and just knowing and trusting that it's going to be either him or somebody better. Now, I'm not going to say to all you ladies that are in relationships, like, okay, go break up with your man right now. Like, no. But just, it's once again, it's about putting that value back on you and your needs and knowing that that is important in this relationship. And so if he's not valuing that, just start to think about what it is that he's not giving you, and even bring up the conversation of, like, these are some of the things that I'm feeling I'm not getting my needs met. What do you think about that? Is that something that you feel that you could give to me? And if not, then I think we need to have an honest conversation about, being together. And it's scary. It's really scary. And it's not something that you want to do necessarily, but it can be in those scary moments that you can drastically shift the way that he shows up for the rest of his life. Because otherwise you're allowing him and you're enabling him to just give you the bare minimum. And is that really what you want for the rest of your life in a relationship with him?
Oh, that's so true. I mean, I just see so many women kind of shrink themselves down to try to fit like a man's capacity of what, and they just ignore their own needs and desires. Something I always say is it's important to like put what you want for yourself kind of ahead of just being with this one specific man, right? It's like you can't always have it both ways. Sometimes you have to choose. Do you want to just be with this one guy, or do you really want the long-lasting committed relationship that you say you want, right? I didn't know that you were in that situation. That is really powerful. So something I heard you say is you have to be willing to walk away, right? Just like kind of demanding that a guy commit to you is not gonna, a man can feel it. I know couples, oh my gosh, they've been kind of casually dating. I know this one couple in particular for like 20 years or something crazy like that. And she's obviously way more invested in him than he is. He's kind of happy with the casual situation, and he knows for sure that she, even if he doesn't really truly commit, she's not going anywhere, right? So you have to be willing to walk away truly, authentically, because a man can feel that, right? A man can feel if he's going to lose you or not, if he's not able to kind of provide what you're looking for, right, Teal?
Absolutely. And I send so much love to my sweetheart, and I respect, what he decided to do, which was coming back toward me, but I would have respected if he felt that he needed to walk away too, because we're all on our own paths and we're all at our own level of development and growth. And if he's really not ready, I don't want to force him into anything that he's not ready for. It's just about recognizing, well, this is what I need. And it's okay. It's okay if this is not meant to be. But what I find is more times than not, when you can get to that point and that strength, it usually ends up working itself out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're getting some great comments. Phyllis says, that's a situation I'm in now. I've thought about ending it, but it's so hard. Yeah, it can be the hardest thing. I mean, it's so easy for us to say, oh, just walk away, right? But it's like literally could be the hardest thing. Any advice for someone who's in that situation who maybe knows that they might need to walk away but doesn't feel quite ready yet?
Yes, absolutely. I was just thinking about that. It was like the biggest thing that I recommend my clients to do is to write a letter to him. Don't send it to him, but just write a letter to him and allow yourself to really connect to your heart and just pour out everything you're feeling, everything you're needing, without making him wrong, without attacking, without getting angry. Just really touch in with how you're feeling and what you're needing and what you're not getting. And that can really help kind of just clear out some of the emotion and just that like, icky feeling, and just kind of objectify it. And then you can really see, okay, like, how do I really want to communicate this in the best way to him?
I love that. I feel like we should give some examples of I almost feel like I should have made this title, what to do and say if your relation, because you gave some amazing things to actually say to a man, right? What would you feel like a woman should maybe say if a guy is saying something like, I totally, respect that. I can't give you what you want right now. I'm not ready. What about a man who's not ready? What would you have her say or do in that situation?
Yeah, let me take a second to connect into my heart and connect back to that moment. Yeah, I would say something along the lines of, well, always starting with gratitude. Always starting with gratitude. Because when you start with gratitude, you are letting down the defenses and you're coming to it with a completely open heart. And that's what I really help women with, is just helping to actually open their heart and have these kinds of conversations. So I've really, really loved spending so much time with you. I feel so happy when I get to, be in your arms and snuggle and have deep conversations with you. And I'm also recognizing that I think that I'm really looking for a little bit more. I'm really looking for a partner and a man that can, show me that he wants to devote his life to me and that is committed to seeing me on a regular basis, and someone that just absolutely adores me and makes me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. And right now I'm not quite feeling that may be where we're at. And I understand if that's not something that you can give me right now. And I don't want to put any pressure on you. But I also am recognizing that this is something I'm really needing. And so I just want to check in with you and see how you're feeling. What do you think?
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was so good. It sounds like there's a lot of people in this situation right now. I'm just reading all the comments coming through. Tiffany says, I read a quote that says, he's not a bad guy, he's just not your guy. We have a tendency to write off every guy after a few failed attempts with one guy. Love abounds, stand in it, breathe in it, own it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it can be so hard. The problem happens when we get so invested, like so laser focused on this one particular man before we know what's up, right? Before we know that he's not going to keep us waiting, that we're on the same page, that he wants the same things you do. So it's really important to kind of figure those things out before becoming exclusive with a man. Saying something like, what I'm looking for is fill in the blank, a lifelong committed relationship or to have a family someday, within the next however many years, you have to just kind of custom tailor it to what you want. And, before becoming exclusive with someone, it would feel good to know whether or not we're on the same page in terms of what we see for our future, for women who are single and not wanting to get themselves into that situation. But for women who are already there, it sounds like a lot of these ladies watching are there. Teal, what you shared was so brilliant. I think that's amazing. I'm curious, about your opinion about like the timelines. A lot of coaches say, don't become exclusive for the first 2 to 4 months, and things like, after a year or a year and a half, a man should kind of know what he wants to do about the relationship. Do you have any kind of I know every situation is different, but do you have any specific timelines or guidelines when it comes to this topic of commitment?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I just want to, just before we transition into that, I want to add one last thing onto the really, when you're communicating that heartfelt message to that man, is really about inspiring him to step forward. So when you're standing in this value, this is like the biggest gift you can give them, because you're shining this vision of what you want, but you're not putting the pressure on him to be that man to do it. And so if he values you and he likes you and he hears what your vision is, he's going to know, okay, this is where she stands. I know my boundaries with her. And then he gets to decide, okay, do I actually want to be that man? And he gets to be the one to come forward. And it makes it feel like it's his idea. Even though you're painting the vision, it's his idea to step forward and be that man. Versus you being like, okay, so this is how things are going to have to go. And you're going to have to be like this now because this is what we need. And we've been dating for 5 months. So just tapping into I am shining out this vision and I am inspiring versus controlling and demanding.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, it's almost like you as the woman are kind of shining the light for the vision of what you want for yourself, and he's leading and taking you there. Because of course, no one wants to force the guy to commit and he's kicking and screaming, because they're going to be much more invested in the relationship if they felt like it was his idea, and he had to invest in you and put effort into you to win you over. Something I always say is that, men's brains are kind of hardwired the same way they always have been. Even though we've evolved as a society, most men really dream of like winning over their dream woman and hoping she says yes. They don't have these dreams of ending up with a woman who's pining after him or strategizing and trying to lock him down into some kind of committed relationship. It's just the complete opposite, right?
Totally. Yeah. So in terms of the commitment timeline, it's actually interesting because I don't even think that timelines matter. Because it's so different for every person, and it really determines and is dependent on every man and how they're feeling and where they are in their own growth and journey. And a lot of times it is about actually just practicing patience, and not trying to even think about a timeline. And I know it can be easy. You're like, okay, well, XYZ milestones have happened. He's met my friends, and I've gotten to meet his mom, and we've, gone out on a trip together. And so we must be X, Y, and Z. But that's, in his eyes, that's really not a timeline. It's just experiences that are helping to bring moments of you together. So if you can actually take your mind out of an idea of even there being a timeline and just focusing on being and showing up as your most incredible, amazing self every single time you spend with him, he's naturally going to just be starting to build up that intimacy towards you. And that's what devotes the commitment.
I totally agree. Yeah, I have a program called The Art of Getting the Commitment You Want, and I talk about it in terms of a relationship roadmap. So it's not a timeline, but it's more of a roadmap where there's these different like mile markers. So it could be like the first date, meeting friends and family, taking your first trip together, sleeping together for the first time, and we think each of these mile markers is moving us one step closer towards the commitment we want. Where for a man, unless he's made that shift in his mindset, we could be way over here down the relationship roadmap, and the man could be way over here on mile marker 1, right? And so it's important to like understand what's really happening here, right? Do you agree with me, Teal?
Absolutely. It really is just moments. Yeah, moments on a map that's building intimacy and building connection.
Yeah.
And that's the focus, not the timeline. It's the focus of building those connection moments.
Oh my gosh, you literally just read my mind. The next thing I was going to say is something I believe is focusing on the connection is really the number one most valuable asset you have in the relationship. So many women are focused on getting that commitment and like, let's just get this, get them to say those words like, okay, we're together, we're in a relationship. And they're kind of ignoring or even starving the only thing that really matters, which is the connection, because a man's not going to commit to something. There's like nothing for him to commit to if you haven't built this deep heart-to-heart connection. Talk about this so much in my program, but yeah, I'd love to hear anything you have to say on that. I mean, do you agree with me there?
Oh, 100%. You said that so beautifully. It's really, really true. You have to actually build up what it is that he wants to fall in love with and what it is that he wants to commit to. And I really like this concept of warmth and distance and like this idea of a rubber band. So he may be really testing you right now. He may be in the in-between phases. And if he is pulling away and coming back and kind of giving you this, giving you that, like this is just him testing. How are you handling this? Are you going to still open and be open and warm and receiving to me? Not to say that you need to put up with it and allow it to be okay, but just knowing that like he's just really feeling it out. This whole, I would say, 2, 4, 5 months of dating is really him just feeling out and testing. Is this something that I really like, that feels good to me? Just as you would do with any friendship that you're building with anybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about, like, none of this was really planned, but this is so perfect for this topic too, because it's something that not a lot of people talk about. They get so focused on getting that commitment, and it's like, there's just, like I said, there needs to be something for him to commit to and like protect with the, with that agreement of the commitment, right? Focus on the connection first. I call it, building intimacy, a deep heart-to-heart connection, an emotional bond with a man. That should be your main focus, especially like when you're getting to know him in the early stages and really throughout the course of your whole relationship. Tasha asked a great question. She says, how do I take a man off of a pedestal and re-attract him? I feel like I've been giving off the desperate vibe. Yeah, we were talking about that pedestal at the beginning. Teal, any tips for someone who's already kind of done that? Which, of course, we've all done that, right? We've all been there. How do you reverse this?
Yeah. Well, I guess the first question is are you in a committed relationship with him, or is this a newer relationship?
Yeah, great question. If you want to give us a little more information, that might be helpful. Yeah, I would say if you're not in an exclusive relationship yet, yeah, keep dating other men. Take your focus off of him. Put it on your own life. Get rid of that laser focus that we can so easily do when we have a man on a pedestal, right? If you're in a committed relationship, what about if she's already exclusive or committed to him? Teal, any tips with that?
Yeah. I know this is the tough one, right? You're like, well, I already gave him my word and now it's not going right. Shit, how do I backpedal? But even if you're committed to him, I would say just in your mind, just allow yourself to, same thing, take the focus off of him. Allow yourself to think and know, like, well, we are not married yet. He has not really put the ring on my finger. So I'm committed to him in my heart. I'm not going to sleep with any other. I'm not going to date anyone else. But I am still a prized possession, and I'm still allowed to look at other men and feel the energy from other men come through. And that will just help to bring back some of that energy and that vibe of like, oh, wait, yes, no, I am attractive. I am high value. There are other men that are looking at me. Even if it's just smiling at other men and just allowing yourself to feel that energy from other men, it's going to help raise up your vibration again.
Absolutely. Yeah. She says the new relationship. So actually that's a good thing. I mean, if it's new, if you're not exclusive, that's actually fantastic because that puts you in a place of power where you can open up your energy to men, who are pursuing you, who are coming towards you. And trust me, if he's the right man for you, he's not going to jeopardize his chance to be with you. For everybody watching, a man who's truly for you is not going to risk losing you to someone else. Like he's going to make sure that he gets in your life, right?
I think I'd also talk to Tasha's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tasha, I'd also check into and just see if there's any underlying deeper fears that are coming up about why you're putting him on a pedestal. Like, are you afraid to lose him? Are you afraid you're not going to be able to find anybody else? Like, what is that fear that's kind of trying to dictate the actions that you're doing? And talk to that fear. And just recognize that that fear is totally not true and it's not your reality. And see if you can start to release that fear so that it's not running the show, right? Because at the end of the day, you know you're amazing and you know you're incredible. And if you can believe that, then he'll believe that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because it can be easy for us to feel so deeply bonded. I mean, like physiologically, if we're sleeping with him or if we're falling in love or we have strong feelings, it can be so easy for us women to like feel like maybe this is all there is out there, right? And it's absolutely our job, I think, to convince you that no man is your last chance. If he doesn't want the same things as you, and I don't know if that's the situation or not, no man is your last chance. There's always another guy around the corner, but we can forget that. We can so easily forget that when we feel so attached to this one man, right?
Yes, yes. I've noticed this even a shift in so many of my clients and even in my own relationship experience over my life. When I started really just absolutely putting my focus on myself and the love that I had for myself, men were coming up to me out of nowhere, out of everywhere, wanting to talk to me and just connect with me. And they're like, wow, you're just there was something about you, right? And it's the fact that you just really deeply love yourself and that you are 100% full yourself and that you don't need a man, right? You don't need someone to fill you up. You are already complete and you are already whole.
Absolutely. This is great, Evan. Sounds like this is resonating with everyone. You guys, you're welcome. I'm so glad this was helpful. And it's already, I can't believe it's like already getting dark here. It's not even 5 o'clock. I know it's like crazy with our time difference, but before we close out, and also Teal has an amazing free gift for everyone watching. It's already in the description. You can go check that out. We'll talk about that in a minute, but Teal, what are your last words of wisdom or maybe your top few tips for women who really want to get that committed relationship, whether they're single or with a man already?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to reiterate what I've already said. The biggest thing right now for you ladies is to really take some time for yourself to get really clear about your vision. I really believe in the law of attraction and manifestation. And the woman that I listen to, Abraham Hicks, says something really powerful. She says, if you don't plug in the coordinates into the GPS in your car, then your car doesn't know where to take you, right? And so it's the same kind of thing. Really take some time and decide and figure out what are the coordinates of your GPS? Where do you want to go? What does that relationship look like for you in your eyes, not fitting into his needs? And once you can articulate that as clearly as possible and really feel that, then everything else can start to fall into place to make that vision happen. Whether it's with that man that you're with or with another man that's going to come into your life that you don't even know yet. But the most important part is that it's not about a specific guy. It's about the way you want to feel in a relationship for the rest of your life. So I would connect to that vision and then just put that focus on you and build up that value within yourself.
I love that analogy too. I'm a huge fan of, as a lot of people know, if they listen to my videos, I talk a lot about these law of attraction concepts and specifically combining them with the feminine energy that we talk about, Teal. So that was beautiful. Tasha says, beautifully stated. Thank you. Phyllis says, thank you both so much. I appreciate your help. Cassandra says, I really enjoyed this topic. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, you're welcome. I knew this would be this. There's so many women in this situation. Wonderfully Made says, what if the man is the one brushing things, not sex, but what is a good way to pump the brakes without bruising his ego? You might have just joined us at the beginning of this video. We gave some really good scripts for that. Just briefly, maybe to give you a different option if you've seen that, like, oh, it feels good if you like him and you're open to a relationship. It's just moving a little faster than you'd like. Something like that, it feels great getting to know you, and I feel what I'm looking for is this, and until we decide that we're on the same page, it feels really good to take things slow and take our time getting to know each other before making such a big step. If he's pushing for exclusivity or something like that. Teal, any last tips for this woman?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you said it beautifully.
Okay, yeah. Watch this video again. It sounds like maybe you're just joining, but yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing unless he's pushing so hard that it just doesn't feel good. And he's not, I think we mentioned at the beginning, there's a difference between a man pursuing you and his energy's coming towards you and it feels good versus a man who wants something from you and he's not really getting to know who you are. He just wants something and he's pushing for it. So feel it out. If he's a good guy and he's just eager and excited about you, that's a great thing. Just let him know, what you're looking for, and then it feels good taking your time, really getting to know someone, because getting into a relationship is a big deal, right? You're not just going to take the first guy that comes along. You really want to take your time and make sure the two of you are on the same page before getting invested. So Tasha says, I'm scared he'll disappear if I let go. Yeah, that's that fear that Teal was talking about. We can all feel that way, right? Before we close out, yeah, any tips for women who are afraid of losing a man if they're, walking away or standing up for their vision for what they want?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me check into my heart again. Any feelings of fear of losing a man? Usually a fear of losing a man is feeling like he's the best option that you're ever going to get. And so I would just question that. Is this really the best man that you're ever going to get? Or are you going to allow yourself to be surprised? And do you check in with your belief system about what has caused you to feel like you can't have what you want? And where is that feeling coming from? And it usually has to do with a deeper sense of self-worth and self-value. And so if that's something you're struggling with, I am all here for you, girl, because it's a big determiner of being able to level up in that attraction with men, is that self-worth. And a lot of women get into these fears and they allow themselves to get really concerned about where the relationships are going because they look at it as almost indicators of, okay, I must have better self-worth and self-value, and they're allowing that man to put that on them of, okay, I guess I must be good in their eyes if they're wanting to continue this relationship. But that's not what this is about. You need to already be so owning your value and your self-worth so that you are emulating that and feeling an energy of I know no matter what, I am going to meet the man that's meant to be for me, whether it's you or somebody else, that letting go of attachment. So I'd really check in with your self-worth and self-value.
It's really important. I'm so glad that you asked that question too, because that's the biggest thing. If you're going through life centered around this fear of losing a man, he can feel that, right? He can feel that, and that's not what inspires him to see you as that one woman he can't live without. If he thinks that he can kind of do whatever he wants and take his time and come and go as he pleases, and you're just going to be there waiting because you're scared of losing him, nothing kills the attraction faster than that vibe. So your awareness around it is fantastic. So yeah, you want to do everything Teal's saying. Such a common situation. I feel like that's almost like the root of what's going on here, being scared of losing a man. So just kind of going along with what he wants and then ignoring your own dreams and visions for a relationship. So that was so, so powerful. Teal, let's talk about your free gift that you have for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 gifts for all of you ladies that are just curious to learn more about me and everything I'm doing as well. So the first one is a free guide, the 8 principles to becoming magnetic to men. Super fun, tons of juicy nuggets in there. So you can definitely just go and download that. And then the second gift is something really special. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do this, but I wanna do it right now. And I'm opening up time in my calendar for a free love breakthrough session, which is 30 minutes of time with me to actually speak on the phone one-on-one, and really just for me to hold space and hear where you're at, what you're struggling with, and how I can really best support you. So if that's something that you're interested in, to just really take advantage of some free coaching time with me, definitely go to my scheduler and pick a time that works for you. I'd love to chat with you.
Wow, that is so, so generous. Yes, everybody, yeah, go do that while Teal's still able to do that. That is just amazing. And grab her free gift too. Yeah, both of those links are in the description right now. You can go check those out. If you're watching the replay, everything's just right below this video in the description. So you're welcome, everyone. Naomi, Tasha, Dory says this is amazing advice. Thank you so much. We're really glad this was helpful. And Teal, I would love to have you on again sometime. This was so much fun. And we obviously, there's so much synergy around what we both talk about, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even feel like we're planning it at all. It's just organically coming out of our hearts. And I think that's the true messages that speak to hopefully all of you ladies.
Yeah. So I'm really glad this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to let us know in the comments section, your experiences and thoughts and feelings around this. We love hearing from you, and maybe share it with a girlfriend too, who's in this situation where she's feeling stuck in her love life. We've all been there, and I just love it when we can all help each other out. So Teal, thank you so much again. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Helena. Bye, everyone.